I know you're all pleased that this is the last one.
Good to see you, Ray.
Yeah, I was going to say, just in case Ed Weedmark is present or listening or watching somehow, I'd like to tell him I am standing up. I should begin by congratulating all the inductees tonight. Well done. I would like to single out Eric, who back in the day I had the good fortune of coaching. He mentions Benji Marcho, and they were great rivals on the field. If you're aware of Benji and if you know Eric, you know them as more than just rivals on the field. They were rivals off the field as well. I forgive the school teacher and me, but a little bit of a history lesson. Half a millennium ago, a rather obscure French philosopher proposed the proposition that because he is human, all human behaviour is not alien to me. Now, if he'd lived long enough, and if he'd met Eric and Benji in their teenage years, he would seriously question that proposition. But let's get to the task at hand. Bloody Harry. It is totally fitting that Harry joined the growing list of Saracen players currently in the Hall of Fame. I think it's now 7. I'm talking about the players. The now past and most beloved Bigfoot, Louis Furlan, Rums, Beeve, AJ, and Benji. These last 4 are alma mater of the St John's team of the 70s, itself a member of the Manitoba Rugby Hall of Fame. Harry becomes the 5th of this growing Parthenon, and it's a great honour for him to be part of that, what we might want to call the Big 5 of St John's rugby team. Now, depending on your definition of the Big 5, you can decide which animal fits each of them. Over the past few years, I've had the privilege of presenting my view of the 4 who preceded Harry. In a word, Peter and I tried to, and failed, to get the players to give Rums the nickname of Rustic, the Manitoba farm boy who came to the city and did good. Beeve, I noted, though perhaps limited to snafu only, could play equally well sober or inebriated. AJ was a tour of force, but was incredibly taciturn. You can Google that word. I had to do it to know what it meant. But he certainly he can be very taciturn. And Benji is proof positive that someone can lead a very successful life even in the complete absence of normal social filtering. Might add you to that list, Eric. But what can we say of Harry? I've already said bloody Harry. But cheeky, impertinent, ebullient. Maybe all 3, but certainly Raspucilian. Harry came to St John's, but when it comes to rugby, there's just one word for Harry: brilliant. Harry came to St John's having played rugby at the River Heights, where he was coached by Jim Feasby, who I've seen here tonight. Jim clearly had done a great job coaching Harry, and he arrived at St John's with a great deal of flair and ability. Harry was certainly the best halfback of his era, and certainly the most talented I had the opportunity to coach. For me, he had it all to be a halfback. Speed, length and accuracy of pass, exceedingly quick, had a great dummy, a delicate chip kick over the scrum, heaps of courage, excellent vision in taking in and reading the situation to know when to pass, to kick or to run. And that quality, de rigueur for all halfbacks, a commanding presence over his forwards that is inversely proportionate to their respective sizes. You want me to repeat it? As I look back, and as a function of aging, you tend to do that more and more, Harry is an honoured member of a much wider pantheon of outstanding players that, rather than just St John's and the Saracens themselves. Thanks to the founders of the school's rugby union in the early 70s, and Blaine and Eric have both alluded to this, Manitoba saw the birth of a vibrant and competitive league that brought forth an abundance of enthusiastic and talented players, incredibly so. In my view, Harry is a genuine representative of this era and embodies the talented players we watch take to the game with enthusiasm and flair. The list is legend, and while no means complete, here are some examples beyond players I've already mentioned, but I mustn't include any more St John's players lest I be accused of being biased. John Siddle, Jamie Casey, Julian and William Roder, John Jenkins, Paul Harlan, Dave and Boxon, Bill Zubrack, Blaine Abrams, and we've already talked about Eric. What the founders of the school's union created was a halcyon era. Now, some will accuse me of being a bit hyperbolic, but that's not the case. If you were there to see it, you would have seen an outstanding competition of very, very talented athletes who took to the game with a great love and a passion and produced some wonderful, wonderful rugby. If you don't believe me, ask the people that witnessed it then. Ask people like Gary Nicholson, Guy McKim, Bob St. Jimmy, guys that were coaching these kids, and what they saw and what they created was something absolutely outstanding. Now, I'm not being nostalgic here. I think it's something to celebrate, just as you're celebrating some talent tonight. It was an exciting time for Manitoba rugby. Let me end with a little nostalgia and more celebration. When we lost our beloved Woody, I think it's a year ago today, it drew my mind to thinking about how we think of each other as a wider fraternity that found joy in playing rugby. What came to my mind, was an awareness of how our attitudes have changed. What once was a demand for masculine fortitude and stoicism has morphed into a more empathetic, human way of relating. It's now some 40 years ago, but I distinctly recall Guy McKim, always an avant-garde of coaching, introducing us to the concept he referred to as male bonding, the sharing of positive feelings. The concept took hold, and we are all the better for it. That's without any doubt, we are all the better for it. If my praise of Harry tonight sounds more like a paean, a hymn of praise, rather than just a catalogue of his accomplishments, it is exactly how I intend it to be. Over the years, and we have shared with Harry the challenges, the trials, the tribulations, and particularly his successes. These are the ties that bind us together. Well done, Harry. Well done. And so, without apology, congratulations, Harry. I love you, Harry. Marnie loves you. Our family loves you. We all love you. Well done.
Thanks, Coach. I've never wanted to follow this guy in a speech ever, but I got to go with it. I would like to thank the Hall of Fame committee for my induction. I'm very honored, humbled, and blessed. Thank you all. I would like to congratulate all past inductees along with tonight's inductees. I received a wonderful text from my friend Juice after we went to the gates and Rick had announced that I was inducted. And Juice texted me the next week and said, "Welcome to the club, you little beauty." Thank you, Juice. As a tribute to Woody, I will use his humor. Linda in the Hall of Fame, I only needed a half hour to do my speech. No, I'm just kidding. So, thank you, Rugby, for blending my huge family of 16, my kindergarten mates, my St. John's brothers, and finally with my Saracens family. Thank you, Rugby. My journey is like no other, trust me, a wonderful journey and unique. I grew up with 6 sisters, including my special mentor, Sister Marg. My 9 brothers, with brothers Larry, Tony, and Ken playing along my side for the Saracens, and Ken proudly playing in one provincial championship, a shutdown center next to the great Davy Malcolm. But all my brothers were incredible athletes, and we played all sports together. And there's a competition out for the 11th brother. Dr. Chuck, Vern, John Louis, and you're right there, Rick, you're up there for the 11th brother. I also grew up with my 4 kindergarten buddies. We played 6-man football together at Crestwood Community Center from ages 6 to 12, with Tim Kelly at QB, Sid and Case tackling anything that moved, and touchdown to me was just the start of my journey for rugby. As in grade 8 in River Heights, all 5 of us started playing rugby for the first time. We were coached by, hi Jeff, along with other WASP, Andy Krantz and Peter Gadaskas. So let's get this right. I was coached by 3 WASPs in my first year of rugby. And my best mates from kindergarten went on to be Wanderers. It's beautiful, just beautiful. My journey continued in grade 9 when my parents moved to the North End, where I went to St. John's High from grade 9 to 12. In grade 9, my phys ed teacher, Mr. Silver, asked if anyone had played rugby before. I was the only one to put up their hand. Okay, you're captain recruit. I went at it, I really did. I did willingly. Here's where my journey really gets me jacked. Hello, grade 9 St. John's. Here comes Stu Carmichael, Ihor Holochinski, Alfie Plantz, Ronnie Langford, George Slidle, Babs, etc. We had an amazing base to build on. Now here comes hello, grade 10, St. John's, Rick Rumza and Ray Sketshaw. Ray was number 9 for Peter Press's Saracens. But it was Rick who won the lottery. He won me as a locker partner. Fresh off the farm. Sorry, Rick. How'd that go? Right at Rustic, we would say, Coach, thanks for remembering that. Right at Rustic. What a thing of beauty to watch him wear the opponents down. Watch out, rugby, here we come. Grade 10 to 12, after grade 10, 11 and 12, St. John's, here comes Beeve, Weeds, Romanowski, Juice, Don Grant, Benji, Munch, Horby, Corner. What a group to go to war with. Hello, Saracens, here we come. Us lads joined Larry DuBois, Woody, Lou, and many Saracens. End result, 4 champs of grade 9 to 12, 8 provincial men's senior championships. Now add in with them my kindergarten mates Sid and Jamie, playing in the provincial sides with us was just so beautiful. And how Coach Ray ever figured out who was my kindergarten mates to select them to go to the provincial? Ray was watching the Calvin 2nd Division team play and says, who's this guy tackling everybody there? And I go, that's my buddy Sid. He goes, well, bring him up to the provincial side. Well, we did. Thanks for coming, John. What an experience. What a bloody great experience. Coaching for me now, I carried that joint experience over to coaching at Shaftesbury High School with my co-coaches. Thank you for helping me, Peter Robertson, Rob Bernard, Guy McKim, Larry Solomon, Jamie Casey, Paul and Scott Harland, and Randy Dill. What a pleasure to work with them all. I was asked by Guy McKim and Rob Bernard in 2017 to coach the backs for the provincial under-16 rugby team and to go to Toronto for a week, but they said there was a catch. Where's Robbie? There's Robbie. Yeah. They said there was a catch. I had to pay my own way there and back. Is Guy here? Oh, no, he's lucky. Yeah. I said, come on, guys. It didn't take me long to decide, as my rookie center from Shaftesbury, Jacob Kramer, was on the team. I told Mac and Rob, I'm all in. But you both owe me. Well, Rob and Mac paid me back. How rugby mates do. Support and giving back. Thank you, Rob. He gave me over a week of his life with no sleep to gut my son Jordan's in my condo and install my new flooring. Rob, we're even. We're even. One of my highlights of coaching happened this past year. August 21st, I have Coach Guy over for a beer on my patio, and I asked him, what can we do to honor Woody? His first words out of his mouth was, without hesitation, build community. I agreed. I agreed quickly. As I was starting to work at Shaftesbury last September, I asked Mac if he would help me coach the girls and boys rugby program with Coach Solomon, as COVID had taken its toll at Shaftesbury and many of the other high schools that were at ground zero. We had co-ed practices all year and watched in amazement as we would regularly have 25 co-ed players squeezed into a theater, a classroom, a weight room, whenever the gym wasn't available. We witnessed our rugby culture grow with this fun co-ed group and witnessed them build community. We had a number of the boys and girls, we had a number of the girls and boys come to the resource room from our rugby team in their spare period. But one player that stood out was Alex Harper, a grade 9 player last year who had to spare the last period of the day. Instead of heading home, Alex headed to the special needs room to help them with their work and just listen. Stand up, Alex. I brought him here tonight. That's what rugby does, to build community. Thank you, Alex. And thank you, Mac, for building community like our Woody would have done. Your endless energy and guidance was truly inspired for Woody and me. Player, oh, now the family. And I will share you the skills I learned from my brothers who assisted me to play some great rugby. My brothers give me the skill set to be elusive on the rugby field. How? How to run fast after they pulled the fire alarm at the corner of the block. Yeah, I got really good at that one. Run fast, say Frank, after a 9 dash. Run fast after a good bumper shine. Or my best is run fast after pulling the trolley off of a bus. I had been driving a bus for 3 decades. I didn't care for that. But my most elusive maneuver was to avoid my mom when one of my brothers listened outside of the confessional booth with my father and told my mom my sins for the past week. Cheers, brothers. I was sent for rugby. I was never bullied, ever, having 7 older brothers. And I was never bullied with my rugby mates on the rugby field either. Bear with me. Sorry, guys. And now for my job as number 9. My job as number 9 all those years was simply to move the ball from the big sausages of the pack to the little puddings of the backs. Thanks, Peter Press, for letting me borrow your terminology. How could I screw it up? All my teammates were extremely intelligent and fierce competitors who would do anything for me. The pack in front of me went to war in the trenches and rewarded me with the ball. They are the reason why I'm standing here today. The pack allowed me to distribute the ball, to retain the ball, and to recycle the ball for our gifted backs. A word about my coach, our coach. At the helm of our team was Coach Gett. With his superior game planning and leadership, I remember at a pre-game breakfast before a championship, he took the time to say to all of us individually, one at a time, in front of our whole team, that he loved us. Hey Rick, did you get the next one?
Just went, baby.
Yeah. Anyways, all of us, all of us were inspired and motivated, and we loved him too, and would do anything for him. Thank you, Coach. Love you too. You are a leader on and off the field. But really, Coach, why 4 separate 400s before practice's time and 4 after, with 1 minute in between? That's 2-mile sprint. It was bloody awful, but needed. That's my best game ever as a result of your leadership. Thanks, Coach. For the players on the field, our leader was Rick Remza, our captain and pack leader. We connected on and off the field. We didn't win all those championships without his intelligent and leading us to every restart. Every time I went to put the ball in the scrum, his war face was electric and inspired me and our mates. He always was the first front row player from either side to make a difference to get or retain the ball. Thanks, Rick. I love you. Thank you, Stu Carmichael. My first fly half. He's still paying the price. He jumped high. He jumped low for every pass, as I didn't get him very often. Best tackler, fly half ever. Sorry, Stu. Thank you, Juice, a game changer. I was always the smallest player on the field. When he played next to me, I felt 6 feet tall. His protection gave me the bravery to excel. Thanks, mate. Thank you, Benji, my best friend on the field. The ball just kept popping up my way after his tackles or pressure, or after he talked to an opponent they wouldn't want anything to do with him. Thank you, Binsky, an incredible attack artist athlete from number 8. I just followed him. Larry DeBoy, 45 minutes before every game, especially the first few years. Playing opponents that I wasn't wary of or didn't know of. He would show me the do's and don'ts of what to do to exploit the opponent. I miss him dearly. Thank you, Weedmark. It was like an orchestra. I had a beat with Juice for the best entry pass for the lineouts to get me the ball. And when he didn't, he cleaned up the mess to protect me, along with Kelly, with Romo and Smitty, Ranson, Rennie, etc. And for the backs, thank you, Beaver, who wanted every ball to come his way, but I put him on a diet. I had to. I had too much options. The best all-around athlete, though, multi-sport athlete I know. Thank you, Bobby Corner. I gave lots of experience when I got banged up. Thank you, Donnie Grant. Never afraid of anything. Best shutdown winger, best finisher, and best date going blind. With help, too, of course. Thank you, Lou, who did absolutely everything asked of him to help our young St. John's boys. And he always had my back in the growth with the Saracens. Thanks, Lou. Thank you, Woody. No better teammate, no better soulmate. When you go to war and need an instant field position, Woody let out an 80-yard kick and roll out of bounds in our favor. Thank you for everything, Woody. You were my saint. Thank you, Babs. Best curfew breaker ever. If anyone can find him, tell him I said hi, and contact Elf as he would like to host them, and if not, juice is available. Oh. And thank you, Dave Malcolm, Best Shutdown Center, and distributor of the ball out wide. And the 315s, I'll make mention of Jim Neal saving us a championship on a late tackle to keep our 8 alive. I think it might have been the 3rd or 4th, we wouldn't have had it. Tim Rafter, who loved to look for offense and found it with the Saracens. And of course, my kindergarten mate, John Siddle, innovative, as one of the first attack 15s and best 15 to introduce opponents to the ground. Lastly, Munch, the snafu 70-yard tries you would do, took you 150 yards doing the zigzag, but I love watching it. It's like dogs chasing them. I sincerely apologize if I left anybody out. In closing, this is my last time to scrum half is this speech. Instead of distributing ball, I will distribute to all my mentors, family, coaches, and fellow players, a huge thanks for getting me here today. In my highway of life here today, I had many off-ramps to take. I chose the right path, the right ramps. Thanks to all of you, I am so grateful. And I had the time of my life, and I owe it all to you. Thank you, Rugby!
I didn't know this was turning into a karaoke party. Yeah. Thanks so much, Harry. With your indulgence, everyone, I'm just going to ask Matt and Amelia Evans to come back to the stage to say a few words about Clint Evans.
Thank you. Sorry for the hiccup. It's my first Hall of Fame ceremony ever, so